This episode was amazing, and if you're a comic reader, you probably flipped your shit just like me. I mean, what didn't we get this episode? Michonne is going on a crazy mission to find Negan, so that's one insane plotline for the mid-season finale to go nuts with. Jesus is still being a goddamn ninja. Daryl might escape. Might. Rick and Aaron are finding supplies that might help them fight back. Eugene can make bullets. Gabriel laid the smackdown on the little bitch Spencer. And Negan and Carl are having some awesome friendship time they desperately needed. So let's talk about this episode by character or characters. Starting with Spencer, comic readers know where this is leading, but please don't spoil it for non-comic readers. Spencer is such an ass though, and him thinking he can lead better is just so laughable. This kid is so clueless. I loved Gabriel's talk with him. What you're saying doesn't make you a sinner? Just a shit. Just for now. It doesn't have to be terminal. Drop the mic and walks away. Not only was that line an amazing shutdown of Spencer, but it also is helping Gabriel become a show favorite. I mean, even in the comics, I was kind of on Gabriel, but I'm starting to really love him in the show. They are just doing a tremendous job of making me love him. And think about his character progression. Think about where he's been and where he's at now. Remember when he was talking shit about Rick to Spencer's mom? And now Spencer is talking shit to Gabriel, and he's like, no. I rarely go from hating a character to loving a character, and Gabriel is one of those rare characters. Daryl, good to see he isn't totally Negan's bitch and still spoke out and told him not to hurt Carl. There's two main possibilities to me about who gave him the note, match, and key. Either it was Jesus, proving he in fact does save, or it was Dwight. I have a feeling AMC wants us to think it's Jesus, especially with seeing him on top of the truck heading out. The timing and probability are kinda low though, so I'm leaning towards Dwight. We've been seeing his lack of enthusiasm with Negan, and how it's likely that he would rebel against Negan if he had a solid chance. The I don't sleep at night line drove that further home. I can see Dwight giving Daryl a chance to escape. It could be Jesus, like I mentioned before, and maybe it's Sherry, but I really highly doubt that. Rick and Aaron, not a lot to say on them, except you know getting through to the supplies next episode is going to be epic. Out of everything, this is what I want to see most next episode. Michonne, I have no idea how this is going to end. Poorly? I have no idea what she's thinking. I know they're not going to kill her. There's no way they're going to kill her, especially at this point right now. Maybe in a season or two, which I still doubt that, but I don't know what her plan is, so perhaps it's amazing and I just don't know it yet. Rosita and Eugene, my main hope here with Rosita is that we give her character more to do and things that stand out. Rosita doesn't really stand out a lot, and her character is mostly forgettable. Eugene being able to make a bullet is huge for Alexandria though. I'm getting so excited for them to fight back against Negan. Negan and Carl first. Love Carl's fake out of telling Jesus to roll out first. Still so impressed with Jesus's ninja skills. Weird that no one saw Jesus on top of the vehicle on his way out, but I guess whatever. Maybe no one was up above keeping watch. The Savior compound also looks incredible. I want more shots of their home. Carl was a little badass opening fire, and Negan's line, "You scare the shit out of me," was perfect. Of course, so were Negan's dad jokes. You're only half as good at the stink eye as your dad. But, you know, that's 'cause you have one eye. Oh, hi, Dad. Glad we got the serial killer line as well, and I really like the delicate balance they have with Carl. He's a teenager, he's a kid. He has this delicate ego, so yeah, he was raised in the apocalypse and he has this badass nature. You know, I'm going to kill you. You need to kill me, because if not, you're making a huge mistake. You should just go jump out that window. And then on the other hand, he cries about his eye because he's insecure about it. It's so perfectly done for Carl's character, and really is great writing in the comic and as well in the show, because it just shows that balance between what a child would be like raised in the apocalypse, especially with the route Carl has gone, but the fact that he's still a kid. Despite how badass he is, he still has those hormones and those emotions and those insecurities. Now, what I really loved about this episode was seeing this side of Negan. The over-the-top dipping backwards, which he still did a little bit this episode, and putting on a show Negan was getting old. We want to see other sides to him. The calm, threatening Negan. The whispers and implied pain is what I wanted to see. But just not that, they humanize him a little more this episode. He genuinely felt bad when Carl started to cry about his eye. And I think he also offered to sleep with Olivia because he did feel bad about making her cry. Also probably because he's a horn dog. These moments humanize him so much. I do feel like they handled the wives situation a little bit better in the comics, and maybe it's just how it came across to me in the comics. In the show, it just seems a lot dirtier and more forced. But maybe it was just as bad in the comics as it is in the show, and again, because it was in a different medium, I saw things a bit differently. However, we still got the iron and punishment for fucking Negan's wife, so I am super happy about that. I was wondering when and if they were going to show it, and they delivered. It's amazing to me that Negan can have such a moral code and feel bad for the things he says, yet he can make jokes about someone pissing themselves after he puts an iron to their face. He wants to take a tour of your house and shows such enthusiasm and childlike wonder, but then he holds your baby sister and talks about burying you in the flower beds. And that's what you want in a villain, or what I want. Not the over-the-top, mustache-twisting psycho villain, but someone that can do a lot of fucked up shit, but then turn around and have compassion, empathy for other people. This all makes his character a lot more polarizing and makes you question how you feel about Negan and whether he's really the bad guy, even though he's the bad guy. Or is he? He is. Now here is my concern. Negan seems too interested in Judith. Maybe this is to make Carl nervous, maybe it's just mind games. However, they showed us the pregnancy test with one of Negan's wives. It was negative, and yeah, that scene could have been setting up a few things, but it makes me wonder if Negan really wants kids, and seeing Judith, he's going to take her back to his compound in payment for what Carl did. This would give Rick a huge reason, well, yet another huge reason, to want to take Negan out. This would just light a fire under his ass. Best line, Negan saying Olivia slapping him made him 50% more into her. And note, again, the walkers this season and their deaths, still amazing. So those are my thoughts on the episode. Did you like this episode? Did you dislike it? What'd you like? What'd you dislike? Let me know in the comment section below. Besides that, please like this video, subscribe, and come back for more reviews every week when shows are actually on.
got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember